Good afternoon, everyone. We have another installment of the Land Use and Ethics Subcommittee. It's March 17th. We have a couple of bills. We're going to try to be as expeditious as possible because the Motor Vehicles and Transportation Subcommittee is going to happen in 10 minutes. Could someone pull up our agenda? Colleen or...
Pulling it up right now.
Okay, thanks. I don't think this is going to be a super controversial set of bills because, as you will see, two are local bills and one is an ethics bill that had no opposition. We'll start with the House Bill 825. This is one of these urban renewal bills. We've had a number of these already. Well, we had at least one this year. We've had others in years past. This is just giving the town of Forest Heights the ability to use eminent domain for blight clearance. There are no amendments. Is there any discussion on House Bill 825?
Move favorable, Mr. Chair.
Chairman, there's one amendment.
Second.
Oh, there is one amendment. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Matt, go ahead.
Sure. The amendment would add residential property.
That's right. Sorry. Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was in the original bill or not. Okay, there is one amendment.
It's on page 3.
Add residential property to the bill. Go ahead, Matt.
I just was directing Colleen. It's on page 3.
Oh, okay, great. There we go. Right now, it came in as commercial. The local delegation wanted it to be residential. We have received the confirmation and the vote list from the local delegation to confirm they wanted this amendment. I'm going to move the amendment. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of the amendment, adding 2 words to the bill, please signify by saying aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Anyone opposed the amendment? All right. And on the bill, is there any discussion on the bill?
Move favorable.
There's the motion again, the favorable with amendments motion. Is there a second? All right. Any final discussion points before we vote? Seeing none. All those in favor of this bill signify by saying aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? That bill passes. HB 825 will receive a favorable with amendments report or recommendation from this subcommittee. Moving on to House Bill 1026. This is another local bill. This one involves Prince George's County. Again, this is the bill that MDOT sent in a letter to us saying that they were concerned that perhaps state-owned property would be included in the bill and would be problematic and would yield litigation. We also noticed that the public purpose provision of this type of authority was not included in the bill, and it traditionally is done so. So we have drafted some subcommittee amendments doing both of those things. We have sign off from the local delegation. I spoke with the chair of the Prince George's delegation, who told me they are all good with these 2 technical amendments. And there they are. The public purpose one is amendment number 1. We've got this, we also have this residential amendment is coming back in with this one. And then we've got this state-owned property thing right there, yeah, in the middle of that page. And then go down, and then I think maybe the public purpose things comes back. Yep, there we go. So that's what we're voting on. Amendments first. Do I have a motion on the amendments?
Move the amendment, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All right. All those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, amendments
Move the bill
passed.
as amended, Mr. Chair.
We got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in any last discussion before we vote on House Bill 1026? Seeing none. All those in favor of House Bill 26 as amended, please raise your hand, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? House Bill 1026 will also receive a favorable with amendments recommendation from the subcommittee. Great. Moving on to the final bill of the day. This is House Bill 1179. This is basically a bill to codify, as far as I understand, some existing practices that USM does around its foundations work, making sure they basically flagged an issue that they wanted to make sure they could still do this work without violating the ethics laws. Matt, is this yours? Okay, yeah, if you want to just provide a little bit of color, because we do have 5 minutes here. If you want to just provide a little bit of color of what they're doing and why they want us to codify this.
No, Mr. Subcommittee Chairman, this one's Patrick's.
Oh, sorry. I can't keep it straight. Patrick, take it away, if you would.
I don't know who muted me. This is an exemption from the ethics law for officials or employees of USM, University System of Maryland, who want to accept a grant through an affiliated foundation for whom they work for. And it has to be a grant that the university cannot accept itself, whether, because of certain agreements that they can't make, indemnity or the like, as an example.
Right. Yeah. So if you guys remember this one from the hearing, basically Delegate Forbes was explaining to us that, we're basically just trying to allow foundations to accept grants without violating the ethics laws. There are already clear rules between the university and any affiliated foundations to make sure that they're only going to accept the grants if other avenues have been exhausted. Basically, the idea here is just to benefit faculty research. And the grants are basically only accepted by foundations when the university cannot accept them, because some of these grants, if I remember correctly, have to go to a 501c3 entity, where there may be other conditions that apply, so that basically the university can't accept it for themselves. But USM has basically determined that without this bill, USM employees who do work for these foundations are not going to be able to accept these grants, which are kind of last resort grants that they need to do this work. And, even though overall, I think we're talking about a very small percentage of the total research dollars, it's still very important to faculty. And my understanding, it's often sort of like the younger members of the faculty who are looking for these foundation grants. So do we have any discussion on this one?
For the record, the fiscal note estimated between 3 and 11 million in grants.
Yep. Yeah. So in the whole grand scheme of things for the USM, in terms of the research grants they get, that's a kind of a drop in the bucket, but obviously it's meaningful for those faculty that do get them. All right.
Move the bill, Mr. Chair. There are no
There's
amendments,
a
correct?
motion. There's a favorable motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
There are no amendments. The bill has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any final discussion on this bill?
Good
Seeing
job,
none.
Mr. Chair.
Yep, go ahead.
Good job, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. I learned from the best. I've got some great subcommittee chair mentors in the committee. All right, we will take a vote. All those in favor of House Bill 1179, please raise your hand and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? This bill, House Bill 1179, will receive a straight favorable report for subcommittee recommendation. Thank you. We are done. Head on to your food or your other subcommittee obligations, and I will see you